After another day by the high vessel's side, I had 2 more people to meet with. First, Sundu. Then, one final check-in with Paige.
Oh, hi.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm well. And yourself?
Just doing well as I could be.
You say it as if there is something that is preventing you from being well.
I'll get to that in a moment.
Of course.
Oh my goodness, so many people. There we go. Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had much time to work on this besides having those temporarily set up here. Like I said, it's been busy.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you've been busy yourself.
Yeah. Well, the night of the festival, one of our fellow Endurians left abruptly. Somewhere. We don't know where. And she finally came back today.
I did run into... I did not take his name to memory, but... There's a new... Emperor?
Oh, Chris Stark.
Sounds about right. And something... I'm not sure. It's been a busy 2 or 3 or however many days it's been now.
Yeah. I've just been building and constructing the last couple of days. So, but our fellow Endurian's very unexpected return just threw me through a loop, I guess.
Right. Are they alright?
They... define alright.
Well, I
I don't
suppose...
think she'll ever be alright.
Nuisance. As you were saying.
You heard of our... I informed you about how one of our heirs passed a while ago, right?
Yes, I believe so.
She was his girlfriend. And after that, she also unfortunately lost her sister not too long beforehand. She was been through quite a lot in the shortest amount of time possible. And she just one day up and left, which everybody else was worried and panicking, and some of us were just simply hoping she'd be okay. I knew she'd be okay.
Time heals those sorts of wounds.
You'd think, but not really. She came back today, though. Seeing her safe was nice, but something in her eyes that just... I felt like I was looking at a walking shell.
That much loss will do that to a person. I can't
know.
imagine.
Yeah, it's It's like having your soul ripped apart.
Right. Well, I wish them the best.
Yeah.
If they would even know or care.
Well, I do hope time will help, even if just a little.
It's all anyone can hope for. Anything...
Continue.
Anything else that has been going on in your life?
Besides just working on building a sushi bar, not much else.
Sushi?
Mm-hmm. This is not sushi, but cooked end fish wrapped in rice. And we fish a lot in the end, so I figured we can finally have an establishment to at least put it to some good use and profit. And Blackthorn's a little empty on the one side, so I figured I could fill it up with a bunch of other shops. It keeps me distracted and gives me something to do.
Right.
So that's what I've been doing since the festival.
It's good to hear you've been keeping busy.
Yeah, I've been trying. And you?
More than keeping busy, It was finally confirmed. I am now officially a Knight of the Overworld Crown.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it has all been around since. The same meeting in which I was knighted was the same meeting in which some other matters were decided on. And so, within my first hour as a Overworld Knight, I was sent into action. There was a search party, unrelated, for someone. And there's been many confrontations since due to said action. It's been a lot of looking at the gloomy blue of that castle.
Yeah, I bet.
So,
A lot of whirlwind of problems, huh?
right. As I was describing it, there's never a dull moment, and I'm not sure. There's been weeks in which nothing goes on, and then now days in which weeks go on.
That's the job of a knight. I'm not surprised. My best friend's a knight, so I get to hear about the everyday struggles. But if it means protecting somebody who needs protecting, it's a very worthy thing.
I hope so. And so far, it's been an interesting inner glimpse. I'm not sure how to describe it, but even within what would have been last night that I was officially titled, even within my short tenure, feels like I'm already calling shots. Perhaps I just carry a different viewpoint. I'm often contradicting what they say. But I've given a lot of input, and a lot of it's been considered and, well, I suppose, approved or accepted, permitted.
It's
It feels
not easy.
strange to have just now taken this position and, well, I've been around them more than I suppose ever have in the past, in just these 2 short days, and yet the amount in which they already trust and listen to me is just interesting.
Well, you must have left a good impression on them then.
I'm hoping so.
I wish you luck, though. It's definitely not an easy job. It takes a lot of responsibility.
Certainly.
Though.
I just hope that with this I am able to guide things in a solid direction. Already it feels like, as I've said, I've been able to help with all of these ongoing situations. I suppose in the way that I think is ideal, which others may disagree, but to me that at least feels like a step in the right direction. But I have my own biases, I suppose.
Everybody thinks differently and chooses differently. And with this new rank of yours, you can also view other perspectives from other people.
I hope. I was looking for drinks, but I don't have any. I do have these.
Thanks. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Lord knows I need it. I was sparring earlier.
How'd that go?
It was just a simple sparring match with, Zach and Rowena. It was fun, yet I couldn't bring myself to go all out in it.
I suppose a spar is never a true substitute for a real battle. Real battle's going to bring out what I would describe as something truly instinctive.
In a real battle, it is killed or be killed.
Precisely.
A simple hesitation could cost you your life in an instant. Any small decision you make could either lead to a victory or a death. Thinking on your feet in the middle of all that terror and screaming. But it comes with war. I learned I really just can't go out and sparring anymore without intent to kill.
Right. I haven't sparred before, but I'm hoping to look into it soon. As a citizen,
Well,
I've already taken, I suppose, not taken, that would be the right word. I'm already confident enough in my own combative skills, but against other people, I'm not sure. So I'm hoping to spar soon, perhaps with the other knights or any other trusted acquaintances.
I might not put my full strength into it, but I'm willing to spar as well.
Perhaps
And
we'll
you
have
did
to.
beat me on that log thing, so...
Well, knocking somebody off a log is much different than striking them down or
Yes.
proper strategy.
I'm also just... Everybody has a different fighting style, different weapons they use.
Oh, precisely.
And for me, I'm used to a hammer.
I
Heavy
haven't
damage.
ever considered anything besides the sword.
Most do. It is a very It is the most common weapon imaginable for anybody to use, but a sword means nothing in the hands of somebody who does not have the right skill set to use it.
Right.
And it also does not mean something if somebody picks up the sword to needlessly slaughter for no reason.
Everything bears responsibility.
Of course. And even if it is an enemy you are striking down, every slash or kill you make will stick with you until the end of time. There is no getting rid of that.
Not all blood is washed away.
No. But with knights like you and Netharians and Nandirians and their knights, your job now is to make sure the peace is maintained. So we no longer have to reach to those dark times again.
Like I said, I hope to bring about positive change. Not just maintaining a damaged ship or vessel, but improving upon what exists.
Well, that's all we can ever hope for. Oh. But again, if I ever need help with sparring, or if you are interested in other type of weaponry, or want more knowledge upon it, I can list some tips and tricks.
Of course. Probably another time. My
Yeah.
mind is just, again, everything is felt like a blur. Everything going on.
If it ever gets too overwhelming, shoot me a missive and we can chat or simply do something to take your mind off of it.
Of course. I did wish to ask unrelated, but given the, I suppose somewhat related, but given my step up in rank, I was thinking to have clothing more befitting of it. My clothes as they stand are not the cleanest. Never particularly valued the look or aesthetic. But you've been kind enough to provide me with outfit in the past. And I would like to ask something not, I suppose, formal, but fresh and a bit more refined.
I think I could make something work. If you want, I can also throw in a set of customized armor, too.
Would you require my armor for that?
No. I just would need... Well... for instance, what particular color would you want?
Red is usually my preferred color, but I do know that my current armor is of netherite. I don't know if that would be easy to...
No, I can just simply take forged plates and add in some... I can add in some, they wouldn't cost anything really because they're low-grade gemstones, but it gives off the effect. It also, unintentionally, can sometimes save your life if shot in the right part of your arm. People don't think jewelry should go with armor, but personally my family and I would probably digress that it could save an arrow to the heart. better
I've already
than
got-
a piece of plate can.
Right. What you've provided me already has served great. I appreciate it.
Has the stitching held up well?
On the jewelry?
Well,
Or the
that and
clothing?
also your other clothes, yeah.
I don't wear the... I don't remember the name, but the dress for the festival.
The kimono?
Kimono. I haven't had reason to wear that again.
Of course. Of course.
But I do know that I've... The outfit you prepared for the Netherian event, I've worn the pants forward for that. And those have held up fine.
Okay, good. I'm glad the stitching isn't... My stitching job hasn't collapsed, which is nice.
It's worrisome that you have
yeah.
doubts, but...
No, it's... Since it was the first time making you an outfit, I was just a little bit nervous, but if it's holding up well, then I'm glad.
I know I still can't button the top button on that shirt. So besides that, I'd say that you've done
Okay.
a fine job.
A small miscalculation, but noted for next time.
Right.
Yeah, I can whip something up. I can do this. I can whip you up a set of formal clothes, and then I could whip up a set of armor that can go on top of it. But
Anything
it
is
all depends on
appreciated,
you.
and I will make sure that you are paid appropriately for it.
You don't have to pay me.
I will.
You don't have to. It's okay. I don't mind sewing something. It gives me a distraction, and it's relaxing. So,
Well, I'll figure out something else that I can turn into dinner.
how about just another beer next time?
Is there a type you prefer?
Not particularly, just avoiding the party starter.
Noted.
Yeah, that stuff. Well, delicious. Don't want setting off explosions inside your house by simply tapping something.
Valid enough.
So, but yeah, I can get to work on that.
Of course. And if there's any food that you have a liking for, just let me know and I will do my best to get around to it.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And if you ever want to try any type of end food, let me know.
I wouldn't know where to start.
Maybe I'll bring by a couple selections next time.
Sure.
But is there anything you can't eat, by the way?
Well,
Like
I
allergies or just
Not
something
that
you
I-
don't particularly like?
know of, but I usually keep to a standard meat selection. I prefer... Well... I've viewed food as utility for the duration of my life. I haven't had a need to cook it any differently or mix in any plants or grain. But I understand that my horizons need to broaden. I've been trying to dabble into the alcohol where I can. It's an ongoing process.
I do have... Where did I put it? Was it in here? Ah, it was. I did recently find or hunt down a bunch of meat recently. So, in exchange for the potatoes, you can have some of this.
Interesting.
Hopefully I seasoned it well.
I'll have to let you know.
I personally prefer the bacon. So good.
I don't have an appetite at the moment, but I will relay to you.
I I should probably get home now.
I was about to say, I don't want to take too much longer of your night.
Thank you for letting me stop by again.
Of course, thank you for coming.
Should I, warp stone again?
No, you may take this.
Okay.
It'll make future meetings easier.
Thank you.
Of course. I'll see you around.
And I will mail you the outfits when they are done.
Sure. Thank you. Good evening.
Hello.
Apologize. It's been busy. I came by to check in, see if you needed anything.
I don't think so.
Doing fine on food, water. I believe
Yes.
Arlo passed through a book.
Yes, I've been trying to keep my mind occupied by writing.
What about?
Just the things that I need to do if I am allowed out of here.
You truly never stop working.
It is a lot of work rebuilding a whole village.
I imagine. I believe you mentioned yesterday that somebody is in proper care in your stead, correct?
Yes, I had already planned on. Kynite is my heir if something were to happen to me.
If there is anything you need for us to look into or bring to you, then please do share. I'm still, frankly, fresh to the position. I was
Of late?
knighted, yes. I would say less than an hour before we came to visit you. It's
I see.
a very recent development for sure. But while I may not be entirely in the loop or informed on many of the circumstances around this, I will do my best to... I'm not sure the precise word, but maintain whatever it is that bond we had. I believe I called it friendship at a point, but I may have been mistaken. You had said something against the term of friendship in general, so I don't wish to offend.
No, we are friends. I was under the influence of the curse at that time, completely. So,
Well, yes then. I still wish to, as best as I can, given everything, maintain that. I believe that while we All are quite separated and following our own paths. The Wolfkin should stick together. We've lost so many, we can't isolate those we still have. No?
I agree. I do not think poorly of you. It is your job, and I was a threat.
I also hope that the additional context of it being my first order may provide any comfort. Already I've seemingly come into my own. They are more so willing to listen to what I have to offer, or any input I do have. But given that it was my first directive, I didn't wish to argue. I simply offered going in first and making sure that things could go smoothly. Didn't wish any harm to come your way.
That is fair. It is unfortunate that your visit was under false pretenses, but I understand why, and it was a smart move to have a familiar face. Besides, what if I had been on one of my bad days? That would have not been great to see Arlo
I imagine.
immediately. I am glad that all of that happened on one of my good days. I would not have.
Yes.
Bit unfortunate your first mission was to arrest a fellow Wolfkin, no?
Very much so. It's why I've been as outspoken as I have been already, trying to make sure that things are handled properly with you. And if it's any solace, they do seem to have the best in mind. And for any misunderstandings they do have, I'm trying to ease things or help elaborate.
I know I do have my concerns just with how long it took to get to this point. After all, if I were in her position, I would have immediately had me under arrest. My only the circumstances of which my arrest happened were not great. I had just gotten back from having a conversation with Skylar about how we could get this, how I was healing, and we could even get it done in a few days. And then I am arrested, which is
certainly a derailment.
Yes. My hope is that it does not hinder my healing process any further.
I hope the same.
And it was a fear that they would use this to try and get control over the curse.
No.
Because I was previously a tool for the crown, and I worried they would want me to return to that.
As far as
And
I'm
this was
concerned,
just-
and I suppose you didn't hear this from me, I'm not sure how much I can disclose, but I would say one of the main worries right now is trying to make sure that you are not used or exchanged as a weapon.
Luckily, only 2 people know of how to use this. And, well, out of the 2 people, one I trust with my life. I'm sure you could guess who that is.
Dr. Skylar, right?
No, I don't. Well, I'm not an idiot. I will not trust him with my life. I meant my soulmate.
Ah, yes.
He is also an idiot, but no, Skylar I do trust based on the fact that I had been in the end for many nights and not once did he use the curse against me when he could have easily. And no one would be the wiser.
Hence our worry.
Hmm.
So, I'm not sure what took them as long as it may have. I'm, again, not very knowledgeable on everything that's happened. But, if anything, I would take a comfort in it. To know at least that, well, to be optimistic, perhaps they were considering the avenues or routes, rather than making a knee-jerk decision and locking somebody up under minimal information. I'd imagine this is hopefully an informed decision, and that's what took them as long as it did.
But if they had, I think they should have locked me up earlier and then gotten all of the information. As soon as they found out I was a threat, neutralize it, keep it just. I should have been arrested earlier and then they could take the time to get all of the information. I only worry they rushed trying to get it all.
Well, I suppose two separate schools of thought. If I was to be suspected of anything, I would prefer that I was not thrown in a cell off of a hunch.
I suppose this train of thought is because I know for a fact that I am a threat.
Right. Different situations.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, I have certainly taken comfort in. They seem to have good intentions, and whether or not you can take my word for it, it seems that they want what is best for everybody, including your safety, mine, the crown, the overworlder, the other realms. It's seemingly a very involved process with far too much headache for me to sit around, but nonetheless, they seem to have the best intentions in mind.
And that is what I am hoping for. But I can't expect that,
Right.
unfortunately. I hope for the best.
But expect the
I hope.
worst.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. I'm much the same often.
I know you did not ever meet the previous high vessel, but I sincerely hope that Lenora is nothing like her.
I'm going to go look into that. If I do not see you again tonight, rest easy.
I
Let
will
me know
try.
if you need anything next time I'm around. But, how are they? Is everything alright?
I'm nodding.
Is everything alright?
Yes, we're just having
Yes.
a bit of an impromptu meeting.
I heard
Hello,
a bunch
Atticus.
of... Hello?
Oh, there was a
Um,
man incessantly playing the drum, and I have a headache. And so they were just trying to get to him.
We got him through the ground.
Understandable. Unless you...
Thank you for coming running, though.
Right. Unless you require me, I will most likely be retiring. But
Okay. Be safe.
you all as well.
Through the next few days, I spent time where I could checking in with Willowbeak. On this occasion, she requested I bring her a goat plushie from Wolvenshire. I took this opportunity to search the grounds, yet I found nothing of any value or suspicion. Here. If this is the one you're looking for, that is.
It is. Thank you.
And you said that plush was helping with your affliction?
Yes, it helped to serve as a reminder of my friends and keep me myself.
This curse certainly works in interesting ways.
Well, it is a mental curse, so it all depends on my mental state, I suppose.
How are you feeling today?
Exhausted. I have no distractions here, so it is a bit harder to keep the curse from getting to me, so I have to expend more energy to fight against it.
And writing hasn't taken your attention much?
It helps, but there is only so much I will write. I am more used to keeping my mind off of things by more active.
Right. If there is anything you can think of otherwise than the book, do let us know.
I will.
I understand this
thing I
isn't
think.
ideal for either party involved, frankly. So the more that we can put each other at ease, the better.
I think the only thing that would really help at this point is just visits from friends.
Anyone in specific?
None that I can think of, besides them wanting to come visit. Perhaps Reinar, but I assume he is busy because his girlfriend just got back from being missing.
Right, yes. Seems
What
that one
other-
is always busy. I noted that the last I saw him, he had, how'd you say, eye bags. Looked
Yes.
half dead in the coffin already.
That is partially my fault. This whole situation has been hard on him, and then with Enya going missing, it is still a lot of things adding up, I suppose.
I wasn't aware that he was involved as much as would tire him out to that degree. I figured it would only be Skylar, your caretaker, doctor? I'm not sure exactly.
Doctor.
Doctor. That would take that much of a exhaustion. from all of this?
It has to do with the bond, the soulmate bond. I had cut it off completely from him.
I'm still not fully, I suppose, familiar with the... If you'll give me a moment. Apologies. The one playing music is gone now, though.
Mm-hmm.
As I was saying, soulmates, I'm not all too familiar with the concept. It was never taught to me.
It is. I know that Wolfkin can feel bonds more easily due to us being pack animals. So that is why we tend to believe in soulmates more than either origins, since we can actually feel this. But it is can be rare that someone finds their soulmate in their lifetimes.
Figures.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose all of us are
Yes.
lucky if our soulmates have not died in the war.
It is true. It is also before the realms were open, possible a lot of soulmates were from another realm.
What makes you so sure that it's... well, that Roinar is yours?
Well, with a soulmate, it is a sense of peace around them. The soulmate is to balance you out. It is most commonly known as a sense of peace. However, for me specifically, it was more apparent as I was able to feel more emotion because of him, due to our bond trying to balance me out. Our bond is not the most stable due to this, but there are, I think, ways to know through rituals, but those are, I think, forgotten. I know that they existed, but I do not know. It is mostly the fact that you can feel so content and at peace with someone that's, and that feeling is incomparable to anything really.
Interesting. I suppose I'm the type lucky enough where mine is long dead.
Perhaps. My soulmate is a blessing and a curse, I suppose.
As much as a gift, he also serves a liability.
This is true.
As much as you may wish to put yourself in harm's way in any situation, now you would have to worry about his well-being as well. If I'm
Yes,
understanding
well,
properly.
it is a bit different with those from another realm. After all, if I were to die, he would be depressed, but it would not affect him as much as if he were to die. Because I am a wolf and we can feel these bonds easier. It is like a part of your soul has been ripped away.
Right.
And so, if I did not have the proper support, I would willingly follow if you were to go.
Very interesting.
It is why if someone finds their soulmate, it tends to be kept within the family and the soulmates and then the soulmates mates. But that did not happen in this situation, and honestly, I do not mind if people know anymore because it is better if I know that everyone knows than have to guess who knows.
You don't worry that that's a vulnerability to you?
Not if I prepare enough. You can always prepare for what you know, but it's much harder to prepare against what you don't.
Right. Often, though, no matter how much you prepare, whatever you're running from always ends up finding a way to catch you at your lowest, nonetheless. It doesn't matter if you take every precaution, every step to brace yourself, to ready yourself. All it takes is one moment, or often it may not even need a moment.
That is a lesson that I have learned in recent times. But I suppose that is what allies are for.
Right. It's a matter I learned with... I'm not sure how much you're already aware of, but my stronghold.
I was not aware you had a stronghold.
Hmm.
I think that is illegal in some ways.
No.
Hmm.
Many believe it is, but there's no law regarding it. Period.
I see.
They are Endirian built in the chaos of war, and then long abandoned. As far as I'm aware, there's a great number out there, but I've only ever found 3. The first one I found, but everything came together to go poorly with it. It was before I had made many connections or acquaintances. And so as soon as I found a sprawling underground network of stone bricks and barracks, libraries, weaponry, I went to the castle where Sundu, I believe you know her, happened to be there, and of all people to show a stronghold to, with no prior knowledge, An Endirian was certainly a lucky choice.
Well, it seems they guard their strongholds very closely. From what I know.
Hardly. Half of, if not all, of the lights were dimmed out, abandoned.
Mm.
The bricks were under decades of disrepair. The moss had had even longer to grow. And especially with now, finding that there are multiple just like the one that I found, it's evident that they care very little about them. At least as it would appear.
Hmm.
Nonetheless, by the time that I showed Sundew to it, and briefly after, I had already found it suitable as a place to move into. And perhaps you're different, but I am quite private with how I would like to compose myself. The less people I have poking around in my property, the better. It's not a matter of what I keep, but what they do. As far as I know, I don't have anything that would be troublesome. However, if someone were to try to even sit along in my walls, listen into my private conversations, sneak about into my resources, or even just sit around waiting for a place and time to do away with me. It's a door I don't like leaving open.
Suppose that is a risk that I take whenever I am Lord. So my residence must be public knowledge in case I am needed.
At least as a lord, you have respect and I would assume protection. At the time, I think I could perhaps count the people that even knew my name on one hand. So, then immediately as I'm in the process of cleaning it out, be barraged by a search party within the stronghold. Certainly interesting. And questions regarding it. To circle around, after the initial night of discovery, I certainly made it my own. And assumed that they would drop it, but it's spiraled into a much larger issue.
I see.
It's interesting dealing with people. Life with my father. Things were always quite, at least black and white. If there was a problem, it would be food or location. If the problem is food, you go hunting. If the problem is location, you move. If the problem with food is location, you move. Simple rules to live by. Yet, I've found as I've talked with more people, these things get complex.
It is often a problem with people that everything is in shades of grey. There is no black and white.
Certainly.
Which is why, with people, it is always important to gather all of the facts before you make opinions on people. Even then, that is hard. but before you act on any opinions on people, gathering every fact is important.
Yes. I have learned one thing is consistent in, well, the world in which I was raised by my father, and the world that I've entered now without him. It always boils down to survival. People always seem to, as much as they would like to hide it, behind polite faces or acute generosity, their life will always come before yours. It's a very interesting turnaround. I suppose the word would be studied. Initially, when I was beginning to reach out and put myself into a wider world, the generosity and kindness of some was a shock, to put it gently.
Hmm.
I almost thought that the way my father raised me was wrong. Which, given that one of the main things he would often claim is family comes before all. Or the pack bonds.
Mhm.
So to be thrust into the outside world immediately with a doubt of my father was turbulent. But, like I said, it all just seems to circle back around to survival.
That is.
Everyone wants to be at the top of the food chain, whether they'll admit it or not. I've been able to
It is true.
trace anyone's actions back to a desire to rise. It's fascinating. I suppose it also stems from having such a outsider perspective on things. I didn't exactly have any I understand others had the luxury of being raised or growing up around others that they could at least speak with. Perhaps it's hard to see when it's all you've ever seen, but for me, as this is new, the idea of going out and conversating and seeking confrontation or conversation, it's just fascinating, is all. The outsider perspective.
It is difficult to socialize, I will say.
Yes.
I did not grow up learning these things. I was kept away from people under house arrest. Not meant to be seen by many people other than my family and the previous authority in the overworld. Most of what I know of socializing has been from observing as well.
Right.
It is, well, I often miss the days when it was just me in Wovenshire, not knowing anyone. It was easier to just be able to live and give to my people. I miss the simplicity sometimes.
I've certainly thought about it. I just take it as a changing of the times. A different chapter is all. I figure there are 3 distinct chapters. To my life so far, that is. I know that I, when young, lived in a small pack around others, with both my father and mother. And then, a secondary chapter, my father split away due to the draft and closing on us. The rest were too non-committal or overconfident. They thought that the draft would not reach them.
Many thought so.
And
I'm sorry that my family did that.
let's hope the apple falls far from the tree.
That has always been my... I've done everything I can to try not be what my mother wished for me to be, and to not turn into my mother.
Do you think you've been successful?
Everyone seems to think so. What I do is fundamentally against everything she stood for. It has been harder with this curse. Whenever I have my bad days, I return to her obedient daughter. But that is due to the curse.
You said that everyone seems to think so. You don't agree?
I'm always afraid of things like this curse happening. I am afraid I will slip up. Afraid her blood in me is enough for me to end up like her. After all, I was always told growing up how much I looked like her. But I have things in place for if I do end up being like her. I have people who I have told to kill me if that happens.
Oh, noble.
No. Selfish, I think.
Right.
I hate everything she stood for, and I was her greatest project.
Children often are.
She never viewed me as her child. I was a tool, nothing more. In fact, I've been thinking on this a lot since we found one of our journals. I was never meant to carry the Willowbeak name. She meant to use me as a tool, and when I had finished what she wanted me to do, I was to be killed. She did not live long enough for that to happen, however. I fear I will never escape her shadow. Because despite how much good I do, to try and return my family name to what it once was. There will always be those who will only see what my mother did to it.
You don't think by trying to restore your family name to what it ever was, you glorify your mother?
No,
Or perhaps give more credibility to her name?
I don't think she ever deserved the name. What it used to stand for was wisdom. We were never meant to be leaders. We were those the leaders would go to if they needed advice on things. A neutral party. Then she took that name and bastardized it. Going back to my ancestral home and learning what we were meant to be. I will make sure the history never forgets her and what she did, but she was an oath breaker. She was not a Willowbeak.
Unfortunately, as much as some people may not deserve things, the world is often not fair.
No, it is not. But if I do not fight for what I think is right, then who will? As long as I live, I will make sure that the Willowbeak name is represented by what it should have been.
I wish you luck. I have often thought the same. Whether or not it's worth carrying a name is, I suppose, why I asked you. Well, my father did not, by any means, have similar responsibilities or blood on his hands.
Hmm.
I still often find myself questioning parts of him. And I wonder whether or not it's worth it to carry on his name.
Though, I do not think most people knew your father, so
No.
your name would be what you make it.
But it's the principle of it all in the end.
Perhaps. A name can always change. I know many of us are living under what our parents did. I know the High Vessel is also doing the same, trying to change everything her mother was. At least that is what I hope she is doing. But names change all the time. The meaning behind it is all dependent on the actions of those who have it whenever people meet them. Perception changes over time. History is sadly forgotten. There is so little meaning in a name and yet so much at the same time. But only if you make it so. It is stupid, I know.
The joys of socializing in an outside world, right?
Yes, everything becomes 10 times more complicated.
And that's to put it lightly.
After all, if I had stayed in Wolvenshire and not made as many connections, I would not be in here.
The curse would still be around, no?
It
You
would.
could argue that by making these connections, even though you, by result of them, were placed in here, it at least perhaps has saved you from doing worse.
This is true.
Like you said, 10 times more complicated. Nonetheless, I don't wish to keep you standing by the door for much longer. Unless you should need anything more tonight, I will be making my exit.
I do not need anything. Thank you for your time and for the bed and my goat plushie, however ridiculous that request was.
Let us know if you need anything else.
Yet another day passed, and as I went to check in on the jailed Willowbeak, I received a missive from none other than Kyanite, the current Wolvenshire heir. But, upon visit, Paige was silent, speaking only through her book. Once Kyanite was gone, I figured I would try to garner some information myself. Paige. Kyanite had made mention of music, and while I'm not entirely sure yet, I will have to check around most likely with the High Vessel or Arlo on what we can bring. I know that I can at least set something outside here for you. I brought a few of the discs that I personally have collected. I don't particularly listen to many, but hopefully at least one of these is enjoyable. Are you sure that everything is okay? I should also ask, is this disc suitable? I have a few others that I can select from. No? This one is fine? This one is not fine. Let's see. Is this better? Very well. Ah. I'm afraid that this is not much use to me. My father taught me the Wolfkin written language. I read and write that. However, this bit out of my range. Is your throat not doing well? Do you need more water? Is the bed I brought by not enough? You look like you haven't been resting. Different bed? No. That doesn't sound right. Huh. I wasn't aware anyone else knew how to write. I see. Here's this back. Interesting. And visits haven't been helping out too much then? Now that I've stopped by a number of times, your, I suppose, successor may be the word, stopping by. I know there was I don't know who it was, but I believe Arlo and myself came by with them. I'm not sure if anyone else has a key down here, but suppose I'll try this one again. This one doesn't sound like it's playing right. Apologize. Here, I had brought extra by. If I may keep any correspondence for study if you're going to put both. Presume that would be helpful. Certainly interesting to see someone else that does understand it, however. And both at that. It's been a bit of a language barrier. Thank you. Is there anything else you think that would assist you in... You said your curse, it was that there was a screaming or something of the like. Is there anything else that you think would help that die down? Hell yeah, that is... The name sounds familiar, but names and faces often elude me until they, for lack of a better term, give me reason to commit them to memory. Too many people cross by to keep a name for each one of them. I can't... I don't know if I've met her. I'll have to reach out at some point. But if there's any books that I can find, I will try to bring them around. I will also have to seek out more music discs to play around here. It seems my selection at random wasn't exactly the most solid. I had brought up the idea to, well, I suppose, the rest of the council or crown, or whatever exactly we are considered. The idea of a sparring grounds. I figured as someone recently knighted, I could certainly use the practice. While I have engaged in a fair number of fights against wildlife or monsters, I am not inexperienced, but I am also not too well versed in direct person-to-person combat. And I figured it could be a way to let you move around. I know these cells are not the most open. We put it on a brief hold just to, suppose, give it time, see how things would go, and also I figure it probably wouldn't be the best thing to lock someone up and then immediately subject them to begin fighting. It's merely an offer that I would like to make if you are open to it. If you have no desire to fight, even in a practice setting, then I won't be to push it any further. Very well then. I will still have to, I suppose, get it approved, but I'll see if I can set up a proper grounds somewhere. Either it ends up being something that I can bring you to, or it's a general practice grounds. Either way, it should be something that I can at least get ahead on, so whenever I can get the proper approval for it, we can begin on that. If there is anything that you would specifically like focus on, do let me know as well. I haven't exactly built a practice ground before. Right. I'm hoping to have something, at least my ideal vision for the setup, would be terrain that is able to mimic any form of battle that you might come across, as well as some form of natural structure or two. In the same vein of, you never know what you may come across. Being able to work around both terrain and structure keeps you on your feet well enough. And I suppose in a fight or a practice, whichever, I figure there will certainly be someone more aggressive than the other, just depending on who exactly you fight or spar with. Perhaps you gain practice in working with your surroundings on a more defensive route, or working against someone that's working with their surroundings if you're more on the offense. That is the primary idea, at least. That is something I'm yet to figure out. How to prevent any true danger while still deciding a victor. Without need of burning through totems or the like. In general, my idea would be weak weaponry and weak armor. First to perhaps break through the other's armor would win. Doesn't exactly prepare for all of the equipment you might fight. However, I figure it would be the safest route. Defense and ranged are certainly, I suppose, almost things that I would have to focus on as well. I know that when I mentioned sparring, or setting up a grounds for it, I think Arlo or the High Vessel had mentioned wanting somebody on watch regardless, which I suppose could be assumed. But if it were Arlo or perhaps Oliver, they'd always see about swapping out different fight styles to go against. I'm unsure if you would be comfortable sparring with anyone else. I know that Oliver or Arlo haven't particularly made themselves too available to stop by and make an acquaintance of you. Agreed. I don't know the most of, quite frankly, anyone that I'm working around. I'm still trying to figure out exactly where everybody stands. Hence why I tried to, successfully at that, hold on to the key down here. I at first wasn't sure of their exact intentions, or how they would handle check-ins or visits, but Wolfkin to Wolfkin I figured would be important, and I haven't seen much of Oliver to know where he stands, but given that he has tenure here, I'm not sure what to make of it yet. But I figured a somewhat familiar face, as well as another Wolfkin, would be at least a bit more welcomed. Or valued, I suppose. Indeed, in a full honesty, I'm not sure what to make of Oliver. Well, he's a Wolfkin, and a very high-ranking one at that. He interests me. I perhaps just need to speak with him more, but I'm not sure. I was told by the High Vessel herself that he apparently dreams of making it to the moon, and that they have run tests and attempts to try the moon in the sky. It's baffling, frankly. I'm not sure if he perhaps took a blow during the war, something to the head, or I'm not sure. Really, it perplexes me to think that it would be even feasible to get up there in the first place, and then further have the desire to make it up there. It's fascinating. Perhaps it's a escapism. The world down here is broken. Perhaps a fantasy of escaping this realm and, frankly, every realm, to make it to somewhere no one's been. Maybe that's where he finds the idea. I'm not sure. All I know is it's just... I don't know what to make of it. Right. I know I've looked to it on occasion. It was never anything I was particularly raised around, but there is a sense of, I'd say, comfort to look upon the moon, but I wouldn't say that I've ever even remotely thought about reaching it. Nonetheless, trying, making active attempts. Just feel there's perhaps better uses of your time. especially in a royal position. Neither here nor there, though. Well, as a knight, I figure. Working ever so closely with royalty, you might as well be by association. Although I will say the thought hasn't not crossed my mind that out of the knights and protectors that the High Vessel keeps, 2 of us are Wolfkin, and the highest ranking of us, the captain, is a Shriekling. It's a interesting hierarchy to establish. 2 Wolfkin working under a Shriekling to protect a Shriekling. Of course. I don't envy her position. I'm sure that it comes with many complications. Nonetheless, I just try to keep my mind open to possibilities or avenues. While she may not have any negative intention by the structure in which she's set up her knights, I would like to keep my guard up in case perhaps she did. Consider any possible route that can come up, and you'll never be shocked or caught by surprise. Hmm. It's a hope here that with my position I'll be able to keep an eye on it myself. I can't lie, I've been doubtful of intentions for a while. But to a new day, right? The High Vessel seems so adamant about change, and I'm willing to give her the chance. Until she gives me a reason not to, then she has my trust. like I said, Wolfkin to Wolfkin, I will try to keep things in a good light. Should I have any suspicions, and perhaps in better time and location, be sure to discuss with you. For now, though, I think I will take my leave. Try to check back in soon. I hope that you are feeling better by that time.